In the year 2077, a powerful corporation known as Medusa carries out secret and unauthorized human experiments aimed at creating genetically enhanced soldiers. During one of these operations, they capture an elite government agent named Wu Qingqing and begin altering her body with unstable, mutating chemical compounds. Before the conditioning process can be completed, a specialized team of government agents storms the facility, swiftly eliminating Medusa's guards and security personnel. Their commander, Detective Wan, leads the mission to rescue the captives and manages to copy the corporation's classified research data. While searching through the lab, he discovers Wu Qingqing lying unconscious and carefully helps her regain consciousness. Completely unaware that a mysterious woman named Catherine is observing every moment through the surveillance cameras. As the group attempts to escape, a massive tentacle drops from above. A monstrous creature emerges from its enclosure, roaring as it attacks. The agents open fire, but their weapons prove useless. The beast overpowers them with ease, killing several of them. When it targets Wan, Wu Qingqing intervenes, striking the creature multiple times before landing back on the ground. The monster retaliates by launching its tentacles, but Wu Qingqing cuts them apart. She then closes the door, sealing it inside the chamber, and flees with the survivors. The group reaches a warehouse only to be confronted by Catherine, who appears calm and composed. She orders them to surrender and uses her powers to control their minds. Wu Qingqing resists and brings Wan back to his senses. Wan charges at Catherine but is thrown against a wall. Knowing they cannot win, he hands Wu Qingqing the stolen data and tells her to run before distracting the enemy. Catherine easily defeats him, leaving him unconscious. Wu Qingqing attacks next, exchanging blows with her opponent, but soon finds herself outmatched. Catherine grabs her by the hair and slams her into a barrel. As Catherine moves in for the final strike, Wu Qingqing's altered DNA activates, causing her body to surge with immense power. Later, Medusa's director, Mr. Li Yong, arrives at his office, where Detective Wan has been captured. He demands to know who he is and where Wu Qingqing is, since she escaped with the stolen data. Wan refuses to speak, prompting Li Yong to execute him in anger. Mr. Li Yong soon enters a virtual simulation where Medusa's secret operations are revealed. Inside the program, mutated humans are forced to fight each other so the company can study their limits and strengthen their genes. Among the fighters, a mutant named Qiyoshi shows extraordinary ability, manipulating surrounding stones and forming a huge meteorite. She hurls it toward her opponent, obliterating the entire arena in one strike. Elsewhere, Wu Qingqing wakes up in an unfamiliar room with no memory of who she is or how she got there. A man named Zhou Yang sits nearby and introduces himself, but when she notices him partially undressed, she panics and shoves him aside before running out of the building. Zhou Yang, still disoriented, follows her as she struggles to understand her surroundings. When he tries to calm her down, she unintentionally activates her powers, freezing time around them. Realizing a nearby accident is about to occur, Wu Qingqing uses her powers to stop it, saving several people in the process. Her abilities, however, expose her location to Medusa, and they immediately dispatch soldiers to capture her. As the troops close in, Wu Qingqing fights back using her powers, easily defeating them. Zhou Yang rushes to her side, urging her to escape. When she refuses, he reveals that he is actually a police officer. Meanwhile, Li Yong receives reports of the failed operation. Before he can react, a rival executive named Angela enters his office. She ridicules him for losing control of the situation and announces that she will take over. She checks Wu Qingqing's power level and finds that she is currently a Class B mutant. To secure the stolen data, she decides to send a Class A mutant called Qiyoshi. Zhou Yang asks Wu Qingqing who she is and what she did before she lost her memories. He decides to help her recover her lost memories by using the police database to trace her movements. Through facial recognition, they discover that she arrived in the city as part of a tourist group with several friends, all of whom have since disappeared. When he asks for other clues, she finds a small computer chip in her pocket that seems important, so she gives it to Zhou Yang for safekeeping. Before they can investigate further, police bang on the door asking about Wu Qingqing. He tells them she is not there and tries to distract them by pretending he is in an intimate moment with a girl. After a while, a pole crashes into their room, shaking the building, and the door bursts open as a mutant smashes through. The attacker is Qiyoshi, one of the missing girls now under Medusa's control. Qiyoshi immediately attacks, forcing Wu Qingqing to fight while Zhou Yang takes cover. The two mutants clash violently and move outside to continue their battle. Wu Qingqing briefly gains the upper hand, throwing Qiyoshi against a wall. Rocks smash through the area as Qiyoshi pushes Wu Qingqing through several structures and slams her hard onto the ground. Li Yong teleports in and watches them fight. Shortly after, he returns to Medusa and gets into an argument with one of his investors about money. When the man calls the mutants garbage, Li Yong throws a handful of chopsticks into him. Outside, Wu Qingqing is left bloodied as the assault continues. Zhou Yang appears and offers the chip in a desperate attempt to stop the fight, but Wu Qingqing refuses to surrender. Her body begins mutating again, releasing an enormous surge of energy that shakes the surroundings. Empowered by the transformation, she rushes forward, striking Qiuxi with devastating force and overwhelming her with a barrage of hits. Wu Qingqing moves in to finish the fight but hesitates, unable to take another life. Before she can act, the control chip in Qiuxi's neck activates, killing her instantly for failing the mission. Wu Qingqing collapses from her injuries, and Zhou Yang carries her to his aunt's house, unaware that a drone is recording everything. Back at the office, Li Yong accuses Angela of letting their target escape while losing one of their strongest assets. Their argument ends when the company's owner intervenes, demanding that the stolen chip be retrieved at any cost and that more funding be secured within 3 days. Meanwhile, Wu Qingqing wakes up receiving help from Zhou Yang's aunt. She receives an injection of mutagen that stabilizes her condition. Later, they go to a club, and as they wander the dance floor, a man asks Wu Qingqing what she is looking for. She tells him she is looking for his boss, showing him her mutant percentage on her arm. He takes her to a man, and she tells him everything about her escape and that she now needs the genetic infusion solution to survive. The man refuses to help her since Medusa has already issued a wanted notice for her. He wants to imprison her and hand her over to them. Luckily, she manages to knock him out. Zhou Yang arrives in time, collects the solution, and they leave quickly. Aunt May gives her the injection, and she fully passes the gene activation period, meaning she will no longer need the solution. With that, Aunt May leaves. Refusing to remain in hiding any longer, Wu Qingqing makes the bold decision to confront Medusa directly and sets her course for the Medusa hospital. As she walks through the sterile halls of the building, fragments of her lost memories slowly begin to surface. Faces, voices, and moments flicker through her mind, forming a painful picture of her past. Among them, she remembers Catherine, the scientist who deceived her and her teammates. Catherine had lured them into the facility under false pretenses, leading to their capture and transformation into experimental soldiers for Medusa's secret project. Driven by these returning memories, Wu Qingqing begins searching the building carefully until she uncovers a hidden passage concealed behind the walls. The narrow corridor leads her deep underground, where the old laboratories still remain. As she steps inside the dark and silent rooms, the sight of the equipment and test chambers stirs the final pieces of her memory. Everything comes rushing back to her at once. She remembers that she had been an agent of the International Security Alliance organization, known by her codename Ghost. Her final mission had been to infiltrate Medusa by posing as a tourist on the orders of her captain, but the operation had failed, resulting in her capture and transformation into something beyond human. Unbeknownst to her, Angela has been monitoring her movements. She contacts Wu Qingqing and gives her a warning. If the computer chip is not returned within an hour, Medusa will kill civilians in the streets. Wu Qingqing remains unmoved by the threat, choosing instead to gather all the mutagen samples to deliver to her captain. Zhou Yang, frustrated by her indifference, questions her motives and decides to protect the civilians on his own, even if it costs him his life. Wu Qingqing eventually reunites with her captain and gives him the stolen computer chip. When she urges him to send help for Zhou Yang, he coldly refuses, saying their mission is over. Meanwhile, Zhou Yang prepares to face the enemy forces alone. He walks into the street surrounded by Medusa's soldiers, fully aware that he may not survive, but determined to do what is right. Before the fight starts, Wu Qingqing arrives, armed and focused, ready to stand beside him. She tells him she will not let him fight alone, and together they brace for the attack. Inside Medusa's headquarters, Li Yong watches the battle unfold through surveillance screens, joined by investors eager to see the results of their super soldier program. Outside, waves of assassins rush toward the pair. Wu Qingqing teleports across the battlefield, cutting down enemies with swift movements, her speed and precision unmatched. Amid the chaos, Angela seizes an opening and captures Zhou Yang. Smiling unnervingly, she stabs him in the chest, causing Wu Qingqing to scream in rage. She lunges at Angela, striking furiously, but the enemy retaliates with a flurry of blades, injuring Wu Qingqing severely. Wu Qingqing's fury triggers another mutation, pushing her powers to new limits. The surge releases a massive shockwave that sends Angela crashing through the street. Though wounded, Angela tries to rise again, but Wu Qingqing moves faster, appearing behind her and ending the fight with a single, clean strike that decapitates her. Back in the control room, Li Yong's investor begins to express doubt about Wu Qingqing, claiming that she could become a potential threat since she is no longer loyal to their cause. Enraged by the comment, Li Yong lashes out violently, attacking the investor and silencing him with a brutal warning before turning his fury on the rest of the room, threatening them into complete silence. Meanwhile, outside the facility, Wu Qingqing kneels beside Zhou Yang as he lies dying in her arms. With weak breaths, he expresses his regret that they never had more time together before closing his eyes for the final time. Overcome by guilt, pain, and sorrow, Wu Qingqing vows to avenge him and ensure his sacrifice was not in vain. Because of her exceptional strength and unrelenting determination during the earlier missions, she soon receives a direct invitation from Medusa's central headquarters. Without hesitation, Wu Qingqing storms the heavily guarded Medusa Tower, cutting through endless waves of assassins and security forces on her way to the top floor. Her movements are swift, her strikes precise, leaving no one standing in her path. Eventually, she bursts into Li Yong's office and demands that he stop the killings and reveal the truth. He refuses, insisting that his actions are necessary and for the greater good of humanity. With no other choice left, Wu Qingqing teleports toward him, launching a furious attack. Li Yong counters easily, using his telekinetic power to hurl her across the room, slamming her into the walls and pillars with overwhelming force. Despite the intense pain coursing through her body, Wu Qingqing refuses to give up or back down. As Li Yong prepares to end the fight, he delivers a crushing blow that knocks her unconscious. In her fading state, Wu Qingqing experiences a vision of Zhou Yang, who speaks to her softly, reminding her that true strength does not come from power alone, but from the unshakable resolve within one's heart. His words ignite something deep inside her, sparking another violent mutation that pushes her abilities beyond their limits. When she finally awakens, her speed, agility, and precision are unmatched. Moving faster than Li Yong can perceive, she launches a relentless assault, striking again and again, driving him through walls and across the room in a blur of unstoppable force. The brutal battle reaches its climax when Li Yong is hurled with tremendous force into a massive statue, shattering it upon impact. As the dust settles, Wu Qingqing steps forward and appears before him, her expression cold and resolute. Summoning every last ounce of his fading strength, Li Yong raises countless shards of broken glass into the air and sends them flying toward her in a deadly wave. At the very last moment, Wu Qingqing teleports out of harm's way, vanishing in a blur before reappearing silently behind him. With flawless precision, she ended his life in an instant. After a while, Wu Qingqing quietly returns to Zhou Yang's home to mourn his death, her heart heavy with sorrow and regret. To her astonishment, he suddenly appears before her, alive but forever changed, now transformed into a mutant much like herself. The two share a brief, quiet moment of relief and understanding, accepting what they have become and what lies ahead. Later, they stand together atop a rooftop, overlooking the vast city beneath them. With determination in her eyes, Wu Qingqing vows to protect humanity, no matter the cost, with her partner by her side. Yet somewhere deep in the shadows, Li Yong, the true mastermind behind Medusa, is still alive.